Hi, this is Justin Popovich from toolsformotivation.com. In today's training, I want to show you 5 super simple ways to use PLR mini packs. PLR just means private label rights. It's another way of talking about done-for-you content. Companies like ours, toolsformotivation.com, and many others will create content that you can purchase a license to, and then when you download it, you can edit and customize and rebrand all of that content for your own marketing needs so that you have your own material to publish and you save a whole bunch of time and money in the process. So what I want to do today is show you one form of PLR or private label rights, which are mini packs, little pieces of content or little collections of content centered around a theme. And that's exactly what a mini pack is. The context of today's demo will be using a specific type of mini pack. So you can see it on my screen here. It's going to be a little collection of articles, pre-written emails, and images that, in this particular example, one of our partners that we work with here at Tools for Motivation has created these cool little mini packs centered around different self-help themes. And you, as a self-help publisher in whatever realm you're working in, you might be a coach, consultant, maybe you're an author or blogger, who knows? And you want to take content like this and have it help you build your brand. So what I want to do right here is actually give you a little demo of the sample pack that I'm going to be working with. And then I'm going to show you 5 methods that you can quickly implement to use this content, but not only use it, brand it to your company so that it actually serves as a marketing vehicle to get more eyeballs on your stuff, help you build your list, help you get your material, your products, or your offers in front of more of your ideal customer. So let's take a quick look at the specific sample content I'm going to be using today. Okay, I just flipped over to my screen here on my computer, and what I'm showing you is a collection of PLR mini packs from our partner, Piggy Makes Bank, Tracy and Susanna. They produce a lot of excellent rebrandable content, private label rights material. You can download a license of this stuff and then start using it in your business, which is what I'm going to do in this demo. So even if you're not using this particular content that I'm showing you today, you'll likely find other vendors, or maybe Tracy and Susanna, maybe us at Tools for Motivation, creating similar types of packages. So even if you're not using this exact example today, everything I'm showing you can be repeated with lots of different types of PLR. So for example here, they've got this collection of 37 different self-help topics, and each one of these topics has a mini pack, and these mini packs include the following. Pre-written articles, in this case there's 5 in total. There's text versions of them, there's ebook versions of them, but let's just focus on the fact that there's 5 articles in each. So this topic here, asking for what you want, it has 5 articles, has 5 pre-written emails. So these are just little email messages that you can copy and paste, for example, into your autoresponder that helps you promote the article, however you choose to publish that, which we'll get into. It has 5 different pre-written social posts. So these are just little snippets that you can copy and paste into Twitter, for example. And then it has 5 images that go with those. Now in this case, they're delivering it via Dropbox, but I'll actually show you what those images look like. I can't show it to you in this view, but we're going to go through an example here. But I just wanted to show you the context with which we're going to be working today. We have 5 articles, 5 emails, and 5 images. I'm not going to be using the social posts for this particular demo, but once we have those 5 pieces of content, there's a lot we can do here. So let me actually run you through the 5 methods we're going to be implementing. So the 5 super simple methods we'll be using here, and again, there's 5 pieces of content in each one of those packages, is a blog post, a Facebook post, a SoundCloud audio-based post, a Scribe, which is document sharing post, and then finally a slide share, which is also a form of sharing your slides or document sharing, but just in a slightly different way. And I'm going to actually run you through each one of these. So let's start with taking the content and building a blog post with text and an image. All right, so I've just switched over to my blog here, and I'm at a point where I can add a new blog post. This particular example uses WordPress. It doesn't really matter what blogging platform you're using. Blog posts pretty much follow the same format. You need a title, you put the body of the blog post down here, and in this case I'm actually going to insert an image at the top of the blog post, and that image will also come from the PLR mini pack, but it just helps us create a little bit of a visual appeal there, so it's not just text and maybe a little bit more to capture the attention and the eyeballs of our reader. So in this case, we have these PLR packs I talked about. I just pulled up the one here called Asking for What You Want, and the first article is called Stress is a Thief of Joy. So this is just the text version. They also have a Word doc version. So I could literally just come into this and start copying and pasting that private label rights material into my blog. So Stress is a Thief of Joy. Now, do I want to use this title out of box, or do I want to change it? I'd probably want to change it knowing that other people will be acquiring a license to this. For now, I don't want to think too much while I'm trying to record to you, but I would probably take a couple minutes here to maybe reword this a little bit. But let's just keep going so I can show you quickly how this can be done. Then the rest of the article is down here. So I can copy and just literally paste that into my editor here. Again, I'm using WordPress. There's a couple things that didn't work out well in terms of the way it was looking on my computer here. These bullet points ended up being question marks. So I just quickly clean that up. And I might even want to use the editor to turn those into bullet points, like so. Again, you kind of have to mess with the editing a little bit. This can all be given to an outsourcer or somebody on your team, like a virtual assistant, to clean up for you, right? That you could easily train someone to do this in a matter of minutes if you don't want to do it yourself, especially if you're going to be doing a lot of volume, which I'm going to get into, because over time, you may not want to have to do this every single day because you're going to be spending other time in your business. So I'm kind of talking and multitasking here, but I'm just showing you how quickly these things can be built if you get good at it. So there's the blog post. I haven't even read it yet. I will do that after and make some changes because I want the article to be unique. So I'll likely rewrite a few bits and pieces of the article to make it sound more like my voice and my messaging, but this gets things started. Now I also want to have an image here, so I'm going to use this add media feature here of my blogging platform to grab one of those social graphics. And if you remember here, we've got the pre-written images made here. So Stress is a Thief of Joy. Look at that, perfect image for me to use in this blog post. Let me go and grab that and put it into the post here. Okay, so I just added that in here. It just uploaded that image just as you saw it. By the way, keep in mind that when you see images and when you see the text, all of this is coming from a private label rights package, meaning I can go and change this. And Tracy and Susanna, who produced this image, included the Photoshop version of it, so I can actually edit these images if I don't want to use them out of box. I'm actually quite happy with this. This looks great. I think it fits in well with my blog, so I'm going to leave it as is. But you certainly can edit images as well as the text. So that would be probably my next step here is, now that I have my image at the top, I'll probably go through this article, spice it up a little bit. So for example here, this whole section of the article is about prevention being key. So I might want to bold that and even make it a little bit larger. And possibly even change the color so that it spreads or it kind of breaks up the article into a little bit more of a logical section there. I might do the same here, for example, following a bit of the same theme to my previous section there. And then if we preview the post that we're building, you can see how quickly this comes together. This is showing you what the blog post would look like. So it's got my title, quick intro image to capture the attention and maybe draw eyes down the page. And then you can see the way the article is being broken out with the change in color and font. So that kind of helps as well to build a nice looking blog post. But all this happens just in a matter of minutes. And again, keep in mind that once you do this once, you could easily create a checklist and then hand it over to someone on your team to do this on a regular basis. So that would be the first implementation of creating a blog post. So now the second one is we're going to move down that PLR pack, that little mini pack, to part 2, to the second article and second image, and use this now to help build our Facebook presence. So assuming you have a page for your business, or maybe it's your personal profile, or whatever it may be. Maybe you have a group you're building up. It doesn't really matter as long as you can make a Facebook post with the intention of getting eyeballs on your content and getting people to click through to your website or whatever offers or promotions that you want to have. Maybe it's not even an offer. Maybe you're just literally trying to educate your audience and keep them engaged on a regular basis. We can use this private label rights material to create a great post on Facebook in a matter of minutes, maybe even quicker if we get really good at this, and just continue to get great material out there. So let's go and do that pretty quickly here. So just to keep it simple, I came over here to our page here at Facebook, and this is just our promotional page. And again, it could be any piece of Facebook that you're working with here, whether it's your personal profile, a page, a group, whatever. We are going to create an inspirational post around this whole concept of asking for what you want using the private label rights material. So we create a post, and we just do a very similar process to what we already did with the blog post. We come in here to the private label rights material, and we grab that second article. So what is the second article? Tips to avoid stressful people. So I would put that in here. I grab that title, do a little ... to get people looking at it, and then maybe I just grab a piece of this. There's an intro to this, so maybe I'll just skip right to the 3 tips. Tip number 1, 2, and 3 as they've written it in the article. So I haven't really read all of this yet, but I'm just going to quickly paste tips 1, 2, and 3. So I've only extracted maybe 70% of the article, right? Not the entire thing. And then all I want to do here now is add an image to go with it, which will also come from the PLR package. Okay, so I pulled in the second image in that package. I think earlier I mentioned it was asking for what you want. Obviously, this is not that. This is the preventing stress or dealing with stress mini pack, but you get the idea. So tips to avoid stressful people, tip 1, 2, 3. Then the image is here, and then I can go ahead and post that. I'm not going to do that right now. If you want to get really advanced with this, you could create your next 15, 20 posts in Facebook and schedule them out, right? Schedule them to drop 1 per day, 1 per week, whatever. And if you're using private label rights, you can get a whole bunch of them done very quickly without having to spend a whole lot of time thinking about it. But there we go. We've got our Facebook post done in a matter of minutes using private label rights material. Great tips, great imagery, and we're ready to go. Now for the third implementation, we're going to have to spend a little bit of extra time here because we are going to take one of the articles and record it into our own voice. Now this is especially important if you want to grow a personal brand. So if you're doing coaching or consulting, or if anything in your business is branded to you as an expert, which is many, many people out there right now, then this will really help because it allows you to build a deeper connection with your audience. They're hearing your voice. Advice is coming to you in a different format. They're not just reading it, but they're literally hearing how you speak. So it will require that you record something. If you don't want to do it in your own voice, you could have someone on your team do it, or you could go to a website like Fiverr.com, Fiverr, and have somebody record it for you for super cheap. You can get it done for like $5-10, depending on how much they narrate. Again, you have to look at the prices there. It's not all that expensive. But I would suggest doing it in your own voice just to get it done quickly. Narrating a short article as quickly as you can shouldn't take more than a few minutes. So it would look something like this. So what I've done is opened an audio recording app, or basically it's GarageBand on the Mac, all right? For you, it might be Audacity if you're on a PC. Anything that allows you to both record and edit audio is good to go. And in my case, I would just need to hit this record button and then start narrating the article. So in this case here, I've pulled up article number 3 in the private label rights package. Let me make it larger so you can kind of see it. And then what I would do is I would just start my recording and begin narrating. Seek joy with a grateful heart. Being stressed filters life through a distorted lens. Being uptight and worried makes it really hard to see what's right with the world. Whatever tends to be the biggest issue in life tends to be the biggest focus. If stress is looming large, stressful things may be all you can see. Okay, I'm not going to narrate the whole thing. This is a training video, not a motivational lesson on avoiding stress. But there we go. So we have our recording here, and now I can play that back. Oops, let's go back here. Take joy with a grateful heart. Being stressed. Right, and I would just use this app to trim off the areas, like at the beginning here, for example, I wasn't speaking, so got to clip that off. And then I come to the end here where I stop narrating, or maybe I made a mistake with my words. And then you clip that off, and you just get the hang of it quite quickly. An app like GarageBand or Audacity, it's very easy to use. It's really more about getting comfortable with narrating, hearing your own voice, and speaking clearly enough so that you don't mix up. And that just takes some time, right? So I would use these PLR articles and narrating them as a great way to practice your speaking voice. But then once you're done, you simply save this as an MP3, and then you go over to SoundCloud and upload it. So let me show you that. So this is SoundCloud.com. If you've never used it, just think of it as basically like a YouTube, but for audio. And in this case, we have uploaded our Tools for Motivation brand here. We've uploaded an audio file. This one's called Short Burst Productivity. In your case, it would be the audio narration of that article I was just showing you. And then you have your MP3 that's uploaded, but you also have a section down here for your branding. And then you can have a little description with tags, and of course a link back to your website. Now that's really key when you're sharing on other platforms. So in that Facebook post I mentioned earlier, you might want to include a URL to one of your pages on your website where you can list build, or maybe make an offer, or whatever it may be that helps you grow your brand. So in this third example, we are using the PLR to create a new piece of content to help us grow our SoundCloud platform and grow a following here for people who like listening to, in this case, self-help audio. And we've got a little image here, we've got a link to our website, so it serves a great purpose and just another way for us to grow our brand in different ways. Now once it's here on audio, on SoundCloud, I could also embed this back on my blog if I wanted to, and link it to the text version of the article there as well. That's what's really cool about doing this, is you can start syndicating it in many different platforms. But this just shows you a really cool example of how to turn a PLR article into a piece of audio that becomes shareable on other platforms. Now the next one is to use Scribe post. Now Scribe is a document sharing website, and we're just going to create a little PDF that we can share on Scribe. It again becomes a piece of promotional material that we can use in our business. So let's take a look at how we would do that. Okay, I just came over to our account here at scribed.com, again, scribd.com, and it allows you to share documents. In this particular case, I'm sharing a PDF called The Better You book. This is a book that we created using private label right contents. We actually did it a long time ago. You can see here, it's a PDF, but when I'm looking at the document, within the document itself, if I click in here, there are clickable links. So it actually... It's a document that's being shared on another platform, but because I've embedded our link, we're actually promoting our brand from within the document. So other people can be on this platform, coming here to read our book, and it inherently is promoting our brand, which is great. Now, one thing I will note to you is that the document itself has its properties. So just like when you upload anything to YouTube or SoundCloud, you give it a title, you have your profile, and then you have a description of that file itself. Now here we have our website, toolsmotivation.com. It's not clickable in the actual description like it would be on YouTube. But again, that's why when you embed the document, you make the links inside of this clickable, which is the key for promoting it. Again, we're trying to spread our content into multiple platforms all over the web, so we give ourselves a chance to get eyeballs on our material in many, many different avenues and platforms. So the goal here would be to use a piece of private label rights content to create a new upload on Scribed that promotes your brand just like this one. So what I recommend you do if you want to get going really quickly is to use something like Google Docs. I just pulled up one of their templates here. It's like a newsletter template. And I would just start working with this to create a little shareable PDF very quickly. And we could, again, use the PLR content here. The fourth one down, our article is called Setting Boundaries That Prevent Stress. So if I open this one up, again, let's make it a bit larger so you can see what I'm working with. Setting Boundaries That Prevent Stress. So what we would do here is create a PDF from this private label rights, and I'm going to create that PDF by blending the text here as well as the image that goes with it. So don't be afraid to remove yourself from stressful situations. That works well with this article. So then we would just go over here to our Google Doc and start building our PDF to be shared on Scribed. So let's grab that quickly. Setting Boundaries That Prevent Stress. We pop that in here into the template. Probably don't need a subtitle there. If I had more time here, I'd probably think of ways to describe it a little bit better. I would probably move this top section here. I would maybe change this piece here to a Tools for Motivation presentation, right? And then I would probably even link that. Again, we want to take advantage of promoting our brand here. And then we would go over to the PLR and even grab that image. Just drag it and drop it right in here. Oh, it didn't delete that one, so we delete the one that came with the Google Doc. Now we've actually used the image from the private label rights combined with the title in this Google Docs template, and now we've got this great little PDF coming together. Now obviously I need to change this piece, and I need to start filling in the rest of the PDF by using the article. So I would grab the first little section here, and I would just start putting my PDF together. Again, it starts building quite quickly when you're using private label rights. I'm not going to do it all right now, but you get the idea. In just a few more minutes, we would have a document that's ready to be shared as a PDF. So we would simply download it in PDF format, okay? And then we would save it with the correct title. So I would literally save it as the title of my document here. And then we go over to Scribe, and we upload a document to be shared on this platform. So we would select our new PDF, we would give it a correct description, the links already inside of the PDF are promoting our brand, and we're up and running, we're ready to go. I'm not going to do that now because you can see what it would look like here with the existing example I gave you, but all you need to do is create an account on Scribe, get going with your PDF and upload it, and you're ready to go. And you can see we did this years ago, but we've already got 3,000 views on this document with no promotion. It's just organic traffic on this platform. And every time someone's reading it, they're probably clicking through and viewing our website. At least some of them would be, right? So it's a great way of just creating long-term traffic to your website. And then the fifth and final method would be to create a shareable slideshow that you can post, again, with text and images, on LinkedIn SlideShare. If you've ever heard of slideshare.net, they were acquired by LinkedIn, so it's effectively one and the same. I've got an account. I'm going to show you how to do it really quickly. But again, because it's slide sharing, we need to have a slide deck to share. And in this particular example, if you remember here, it's articles and images. So we don't actually have a slide deck, but that's where Google Docs comes in really handy, or in this case, Google Slides, because we can create something really, really quickly. So let's do that really quick now. Okay, so I just pulled up a Google Slides template here, and we've got this really great starting point, but obviously it's just filled in with templated material from Google. So we would want to turn this into a slideshow based on our private label rights material. So we would take the fifth and final article in our little example here. Once again, I'm going to make it larger so you can see it. And these are tasks that promote joy for your family. Okay, so this is a different spin on the avoiding stress. So we would come in here to our Google Doc, paste that in, and then I'd maybe even give it a creating more happiness and contentment, something like that, right? And then we start creating our slide deck. So maybe we grab this first section here, and that becomes our first slide. Family time. Again, I'm doing this really quickly. I don't want to overdo the specifics of the slideshow. I'm just showing you how this would work. Again, maybe we want to have, let's say this one, right? We have this image here that Google gave us. I'm going to get rid of all of that, and I'm going to grab the image from our PLR here. Now this one is, let's make sure we're consistent here. This one is talking about family time, not being overshadowed by stress. So we actually may need to use this one here. Preventing stress is key. That's really the theme of it. So we would grab that image and pop it into our slideshow here. Preventing stress is key whenever possible. And then again, we would link this slide to more of that text. Okay, so helping one another. Again, this may match exactly, but I'm just trying to show you how to piece together a slideshow really quickly here. And at the end of all this, we would trim off any slides we don't need, and we would have a shareable slideshow. I again would probably use some of these slides to do some branding. So let's actually change this title slide. Tools for Motivation.com presents. Okay, and then that becomes a brandable slide deck for our company. So let's take a look at, assuming we get all this done, right? We finish our slideshow based on the private label rights article, maybe that image, maybe you grab some more images as well. And then we have this PowerPoint deck ready to share. Let's actually look at what that would look like on SlideShare. So I just came over to here to slideshare.net. This is actually, again, it's part of LinkedIn, so you can connect your LinkedIn account there. And all they ask you to do here is, I'm just going to use, in this example, another PowerPoint deck I've already created because I didn't actually finish the one in our example, but I just want to show you what this looks like. So you select whatever one you want here. So let me grab a PowerPoint. All right, so this is about fostering a strong social network. But this is a PowerPoint deck. It brings in all the slides. You'll get a little preview here. So this is exactly what you would see when you're done your Google Doc. And this is what your shareable deck looks like. So however many slides were in what you just built there over on Google is ready to go. And you would title it appropriately. So in our case, we would have to grab that title, tasks that promote joy. And then we would, again, put in the description, we want to put our URL. So we'd want to put toolsformotivation.com. And then you put your category, you put whether you want it public or private. Obviously, this is marketing, so you want it public. And then adding tags is also very important, right? You want to make sure it gets found as easily as possible. And then you publish this. It, again, becomes a fifth piece of content to now market your brand. So we've taken all 5 articles from the package, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and published each one in a different avenue for us to grow our brand. And just to recap this visually, so we've got the blog posts that look like this, the Facebook post here, the SoundCloud audio clip, the document share item on Scribe, and the slide share. Now, you could easily replace these with other avenues. So, for example, many people like to do YouTube videos. Instead of SoundCloud, you could take that same article, throw up a couple of simple text-based slides, and then narrate over the slides to create a video that you upload to YouTube. These things are interchangeable with many other platforms. So if you don't want to do Facebook, maybe it's Instagram or Pinterest. If you're doing the SoundCloud, or if you're doing the video avenue I just mentioned, maybe it's not YouTube, maybe it's TikTok, which is a really big emerging platform right now with tons of traffic. So you could try that. The point is, each one of these mini packs can be used as the source material for you to then customize and start publishing into all these different avenues. Now, here's where it gets even more interesting. When we go back over here to the original bundle of mini packs, so this particular example, we're actually promoting a package that has 37 of these mini packs. Now, you're not always going to have that at your fingertips, but in this example, we do. So we can start going through all 37 of these, right? So, and it doesn't matter which order you want to go in. So let's say, for example, your goal is to publish one fresh piece of content every business day, Monday through Friday. And because these are packs of 5, let's say this week we want to focus on overcoming bad habits, we go through and do the exact same thing. We pull out 5 articles based on overcoming bad habits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We take the 5 images that go with them. The images are inside of a Dropbox there. But just like we had before with those nice looking images that we used in our blog post and our Facebook post and so on. And now we have a blog post, a Facebook post, a SoundCloud post, a Scribed, and a SlideShare for this week. And we're going to focus this week all on bad habits. Every single one of these, we would be dropping links to our main website, promoting our brand, promoting maybe a lead generation page or an upcoming campaign for a launch. It really doesn't matter, or it may not even be for a specific targeted campaign. It may just be to get the name of your business out there, your brand out there, people reading it, starting to recognize you, your face, your name, your logo, whatever it may be. And once you do this a couple of times, you now have a 5-part process that you can hand over and do it over and over and over again every week. In this case, for 37 weeks, we could have a daily update every business day coming straight from this PLR package. And this could all be run by a virtual assistant, somebody on your team that your content marketing would be kind of on autopilot while you do other projects. You build more content, you create more courses, you engage with more of your audience, you could be running webinars, but you're starting to stack your promos and your marketing on top of one another so that your efforts start to expand exponentially. And this is really where things start getting interesting. So this to me is a great example of leveraging the power of private label rights material where most of the heavy lifting is done for you, right? Somebody's already written these articles. They've got great information inside of them. So again, here's one on finding your purpose. Why it's important to live your purpose. This will have some great generic information with a few tweaks and changes to match your branding. Now you've got a specific piece of advice for your followers that links back to your brand, and you do this over and over again. So hopefully all that makes sense. And these are very quick, easy to implement methods that I suggest you try right away. Go and find a little 5-pack of articles. If you're looking at the page we're on right now, grab this deal because you can do exactly what I've showed you here today. And if you're not on this deal, you can go to toolsformotivation.com. We give you free private label rights material on a weekly basis, but this is a great little process you can try. Hopefully you like what you see, and let us know if you have any questions at toolsformotivation.com.
Toolsformotivation.com, the best PLR in the world.